Man may judge the outward appearance, but God judges the heart. When it comes to worship, demonstrations, emotional outbursts is not worship. Because when it comes to demonstration, there are people that are very, very good at acting. They can demonstrate anything. They can make you think that they are carried into the spirit, that they're actually operating at the highest level of spirituality, whereas all they are doing there is a conscious manipulating of people's minds. See, the heart of worship is not the same thing as the act of worship, because the heart of worship comes first before the act comes next. Now, how do I say that? So from the abundance of the heart, the mouth now speaks. So that means without something in the heart, the mouth cannot say. And you see, when something else is in your heart and your mouth is saying something else, that means you're not doing exactly what you're supposed to do, what your heart is doing. The same thing in worship. Most of us, our heart is engaged in something else, but our mouth is actually worshiping. There's a posture a worship leader takes in the spirit where his heart aligned with God. I mean, the worship leader's heart and God's heart are one in that moment. Just like when you have a husband and a wife, or at the time when they are exchanging vows to each other, what the man is saying to the woman and what the man is saying to the man affirms their unity as one. That is exactly what happens in worship. The worship leader sees himself, in the will of God, and God sees himself in the worship leader's heart. So the alignment becomes they are one at that moment. That is why you cannot take people to proper worship experience when you yourself don't have this personal koinonia with God. There are several things that builds up a worship leader that makes him able to call upon God upon the altar, and God moves down and touches the people. Let's take for instance the story of Elijah. Elijah called out fire from heaven, not because he was a prophet, not because he was the prayer warrior in the world, no, but because he had a relationship with God. He knew the God he was serving. He didn't have to pray for long. In fact, in his prayer he said that they may believe, not because he needed to believe. So he knew, before he now come out fire from heaven, he knew that this is what he wanted to do, and he was in the right standing position to do it. And when he does it, God will honor him. That is how a worship leader should be. As you are mounting the stage to lead in worship, you know that you are in right standing with God, and there are characters that help you to do so, because without these characters you really cannot function in that unction that God has released upon you to use to minister to people who are there for different reasons. And bear in mind that people that are in the church to worship God, they come with various problems. Some of them, they don't even know where to go from the church. They've already given up. So it is your job to open their eyes, open their heart, for God to use them, or for God to touch them at the point of their very needs. So I want to list a few things that you need as a worship leader to help you carry out proper dealings on stage while connecting with God at the highest level. Number one is honor. Honor God. Honoring God is not only when you are in church. Some of us only honor God on Sunday. You wake up in the morning, take your bath and go to church. In your personal life, you don't honor God. In your personal life, people even wonder if you're actually a worship leader or not, because the life you live does not show you honor anybody. Even your pastor is too small in your eyes. Honor to God is the first thing that shows that when you call upon God, He will answer you. A person you honor will always defend you. So if you honor me, I will show up for you in time of need. But if you don't honor God, God will not show up for you in time of need. You can't be calling someone you don't know, you don't honor. Is he your father? If it's your father, honor him. In honoring him, he owes you his presence each time you call upon him. Number two, humility. You see, humility is underestimated. I have worked with a lot of ministers in my lifetime, and I've seen how pride destroyed some of them. Destroyed them to the point that today they are no more in church, they are no more anywhere. In fact, they are living a sorry life at the moment because of pride. And I've also seen how humility has lifted a lot of singers during when I was much younger, and today they are ministers, pastors, having a wonderful life because they were humble. Humility is an important factor to developing a worship leader's life and giving him an express passage to the things of God. Why? Because when you are humble, you can wield the power of God with caution. God will not give you power when he knows you abuse it. He will use it to oppress people, like most of us do. You are a worship leader, so because of that, your head is so big. You don't fear anybody. You are too high. You are among the high and mighty. God will not give you power and anointing when you are in that state, because, of course, you will command fire to fall from heaven upon people. So humility is important, an important part of what develops the heart of a worship leader. And without humility, sorry, you are going absolutely nowhere. No matter what you are right now, check your humility status, check your pride level, so that it does not draw you down and destroy your ministry in terms of worship.